So today I'll be more focusing on the format of this exam and what are the modules that covers the CCI security program. So remember, this is CCI security. And in the next free workshop, I'll be talking about more details in the for the next generation firewalls, okay, which is tomorrow at the same time. So this is the course timeline. If you see my screen from 13th of May, which is basically today, we are starting with the score paper. So this is the mandatory paper. Now let me tell you the old pattern of Cisco certification. If you remember, there used to be a CCNA security, then CCNP security, and then CCI security. Okay. Nowadays, this has been taken down. You don't find any CCNA security, but you have CCNP security and CCI security. So this itself covers the basic to intermediate level, and this is the advanced level. And in the CCNP security, if you remember the previous pattern, there used to be three papers in CCNP. So if I put a old format for CCNP, there used to be, let's say, routing, switching, and troubleshooting. And a similar way for CCI old pattern, there used to be some written and a lab. This used to be the old pattern. But in the new pattern, CCNP and CCI has a same written paper. And this paper is called as score paper. That is what is this. So if you clear this paper, it's equivalent to you cleared one paper of CCNP plus return of CCI security. So that is what I have kept here. The minute you clear the score paper, you have cleared one paper of CCNP and the written paper of CCI. Later on, if you want to target only the CCNP level, then you can take either this or this or this or this. I say or, not and. That means only one paper you wanted. Say, for example, you prefer going with Cisco ICE. Now you become a complete CCNP person. You have the CCNP score paper plus one of the concentration paper. We call it as concentration paper. Okay. Now you are CCNP. But let's say you are not focusing on only on CCNP. You don't want to waste money by writing one concentration. Instead, you are focusing on the CCI. So in that case, you have to write or prepare for that 8 hours of lab. And if you clear this CCNP written paper and this 8 hours of lab, then you become that CCI security. You clear this paper and you get that magic 5-digit number that is running. So this is the new pattern now. The old pattern has gone out. This is the new pattern. The score paper is a mandatory paper for both CCNP and the CCI written paper. And the rest, like these three from CCNP level, are optional. But from CCI security point, we need them because CCI security lab will consist of all these topics. It will have one question from Cisco ICE, one from the firewall, one from the VPN, one from the ESA, WSA. So this lab needs all this knowledge. Okay. So this is about the pattern of CCI security. Now, regards to the timeline, like on which date, what is getting started, how are we planning to have this? So the first paper, as I told you now, is the score paper, which is the time consuming one. So this needs around 2 months of completion. That's why from May on weekends, every weekends for 2 to 3 hours window. We will, in the next 2 months, we will cover the score paper. Then after the score paper, you guys will be starting with the Cisco ICE paper. This is not that lengthy as the previous one, so we can finish it within 1 to 1.5 months. Again, the timeline remains the same. Saturday, Sunday, 9 p.m. for 2 to 3 hours of window. Once this is done, then we start with the firewall paper. Again, this is not much time consuming. With 1 to 1.5 months, we complete this. Then we go to the VPN paper. Again, 1 to 1.5 months. Then we get into the ESA, WSA, and then we have a lab bootcamp, which would be another 1 to 1.5 months. So altogether, starting with scope till the CCI, it will easily take 5 to 7 months for completion. Okay, it's going to take 5 to 7 months, but don't worry, we will give you the lab access for complete 1 year. And if you're writing the paper, let's say after some gap like 5 months and you need additional hours, you're requesting for 1 month access or 2 month access. So we will also give you those hours at that particular time. But to get that access, you need to book your lab. You need to give us your lab confirmation that you have booked the lab. Then I'll kind of help you at that point of time as well, because there can be chances that some things have revised, some questions are being rephrased. So we get to know what happens in the things, and I'll kind of help you with on the lab part also. And we will also give you some additional hours so that the participant can work at the last minute with any of this left out topic. So this is the timeline. So any doubt with any concept so far, any topic or any things with the timeline?
No, I'm clear on
Okay.
that.
Is
Okay.
all the CCNP topics, I mean, the ones everything has been covered by you, or will there be multiple trainers
Yes,
in
this
between?
complete portion will be covered by me only.
Okay, from
Okay.
start to end.
Yeah, from start to end.
Okay.
So after this curriculum, now let's say after the this curriculum discussion, I'll discuss more on the CCI pattern. As I already told you, the new CCNP pattern is very simple enough. I mean, there's nothing much here. You have two papers. One is the mandatory paper, which you call it as core, which is like a MCQ paper, multiple question answer pattern. There will be like a 120 minute of paper. This cost would be around 400 USD. And then you have that optional paper, which I also call as concentration paper. You can pick any one from it. You have around 6 to 7. You have eyes, you have the next gen firewalls, you have VPNs, you have one automation topic, you have ESA, WSA. So this is your choice, whatever you want. If you clear this, you are CCNP certified. But for these CCI people, you have to clear that score paper, which is that CCNP mandatory paper, plus that 8 hours of lab. Now we will focus on this because we know this paper is just a MCQ paper. Okay, multi-question answer paper. Now, what is the pattern of this 8 hours lab? How are they divided? What is the new pattern for CCI lab? See, earlier we had something called troubleshoot. We had troubleshoot, we had configure. Now these terms are removed. Okay, these terms are removed. So the what are the new things? I'll be discussing about the new things now. So the new things are the new CCI Security V6 lab, which is 8 hours. Okay. Now this is divided into two blocks. It's called Module 1 and Module 2. Module 1 is design paper. It's a 3 hours of paper and it's a multi MCQ format. There would be scenario. Let's say scenario one, the better has this enterprise, he's doing this, he's doing that, his IP is this, he's getting the security threat, and then you have question based out of that scenario. You have question one with some answers, you have second question with some answers, then you get the second scenario, so scenario two, again some kind of logic, then question based out of it. So this you can clear it if you kind of read the things properly, you understand the network concept, you can easily clear the design paper. It's a 3 hours of paper. Now remember this 3 hours, you don't need to sit for 3 hours then switch it to the next module. You can also finish in 30 minutes and then go to the next module. But now this remaining leftover time, which is 230 hours, they don't get shifted to this 5 hours of pending one. Okay. Either you utilize everything, then you go towards this module, or if you're very sure that your things are good, done, you can still do it or wait for 60 minutes and then shift it. So here you get only 5 hours. Nothing gets carry forwarded. So don't think that I complete the design part as soon as possible. And when I go to the module two, the things or the hours will carry forward. It won't carry forward. Okay. Now there is another roadblock. Let's say you spent in a very hurry, you spent 60 minutes. You took a decision of going to the module two. Might be you completed the task, but then you realize you wanted to refer something from the design. Now you cannot again go back to design. So that has been disabled then. Once you take the decision of going from design to the module 2, then you cannot come back. Remember that. And the hours also don't carry forward. So take your time. You're spending 1 hour, 1.5 hour, 2 hours. Do properly the design part, which is a MCQ based. Then go to the next module. And the next module now is called as deploy, operate, and optimize. DOO. Design, operate, optimize. Now, in this module 2, which is 5 hours, you need to be disciplined or you have to follow certain limits of your time, because here is where most of the people come out by not solving a lot of questions. Okay, they might do one question or question two and they may not have time for the other things. So remember, this is important. In the main exams you get around let's say 12 tasks to do. Some tasks are very easy, but some tasks could take some time. Let's say, for example, I'm giving just an example. Task one is to create some HA failover and test the traffic by ping or by configuring. They will give some task to you, and this to be done on ASA firewalls. There would be a ASA firewall. You configure the HA pairing. You configure the uh, stateful feature of HA pairing. do the required testing, which should be so that I can say that this would just take 20 minutes if you know what you're basically doing this. Now, this is where you save the time. So you go to task two. The task two in the actual security, once again, is very similar to HA related. They have two more pairs of ASA, ASA2, ASA1, and then almost the similar thing, test traffic and stateful feature. Let's say you're taking 20 minutes here. Now the task three is you're configuring VPNs. Let's say you're configuring a VPN between FTD1 to FTD2, site-to-site VPN. Might be the task four is you're configuring a remote VPN, right? So this is how the topics for deployed, operate, optimize. You don't have to design something. The network topology, let me show you for an example. Let's say you will have something all given to you. You will double click on that by reading the question or the statement and then configure it. Most of the configurations are pre-existing. Say, for example, what are the pre-existing configuration? Anything related to routing switching is already present. Routing and switching in the sense the protocols, any switching concept is already configured. You need to think only from the security side. If you're configuring VPN, then you need to know all the VPN lines. If you are configuring HA, then you need to know all the HA lines. If you're configuring any graphical based dashboards, then you need to know the steps of it, the UI dashboard steps. So this is your scope in CCI security. The rest will be predefined. So, for example, this will already have the things because this is a router. This will have it, this will have it. So, where is you need to do something? You will do it on a firewalls. This is the one.
Saga, sorry for interruption. Are you presenting something?
Yes. Are you not seeing my screen?
Yeah, I'm just seeing the CCNP to CCIE. That page was visible in your screen.
How about others?
I can see.
Okay.
I can see the lab diagram is going on.
Yeah, I can see the topology. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, what's happening with me?
You once disconnect and reconnect. Okay.
Okay, I'll just disconnect and join back.
Yeah. So your scope is with the network security appliance, and these where you can see there is a one small task for DNAC also, which is added. Very small task. There is no task related to automation, at least in the version 6 of CCI security. There is one task for ESA, one task for WSA, two tasks for Cisco ICE, and a few tasks for the HA failovers and site to site. So the lab is very easy if you prepare. It's very easy if you know the fundamentals. You can easily get going with the lab as well. Okay, but at least if let's say your intention is not to get the CCI numbers for now, even then this curriculum would be helpful in case of a job switch or if you want to change your or jump towards the security domain, then definitely we are learning the technology as well. We are learning all the VPNs. Around 10 VPNs are a part of SVPN. You would be learning ASA firewall, you would be learning the Cisco FTD FMC, you would be learning Cisco ICE, ESA, WSA, right? So a lot of technology also you are learning. In case if you don't want the rank or number, then you are learning the technology. But if you are also going with the rank, that's what someone would like to as a network engineer to get that number. Okay, so let me come back. This is the format of the CCI. Module 1, which is design, 3 hours. Module 2, it's more like configuration. You need to remember the lines of command. It's where your lab starts. Okay, the lab part is over here. Everything is put up in a nice presentation way on the day of your actual CCI lab exam. When you visit the centers. There is one in Bangalore, in India, and if you are from outside India, then there are different places like Dubai, Australia, Melbourne, US, Singapore. But in India, there is in Bangalore. So on the day of the CCI labs, any CCI lab, you get two monitors. So one monitor, you keep the lab topology, and on the second lab, you can do the configuration, because you would be referring the interface and the device name. So it's easy if you keep the console on the second and the device or the lab topology on the second monitor. Okay. These are all good monitors. In Bangalore, I think they have a 21-inch of monitors. Nice, faster, the keyboards, the mouse, all technically good, sounds good. Okay, those days are gone when they give some old keyboard which don't work, mouse which don't work, monitor, a small display monitor. No, those are not the scenario now. Things have been improvised now. Things are better. So from technical things, from the infra part, the things will be good. Okay, and you always have that procurator who would be guiding you, or if there is any infra problem, you can contact him. All right, and also these days, all these are virtualized. In the case of CCI security, all the tasks that you do are done on the virtualized environment. There is no need of any hardware. So those days are also gone when this used to be done on the actual hardwares, or you had to do cablings, or you had to uh, do a lot of manual work. Those days are gone. Now it's pure virtual. The cables are already connected. The minute you double click on any console, you get the console as you do it on a lab like GNS or EVNG or whatever. You get the console, you can put down the config, do any commands. The show run works. Previously, the show run used to be kind of blocked or restricted. Nowadays, show run works. Any commands that will make you prepare the config, you can use them, and also you can put your logic in case if you bit familiar with the basic networking, or if you've done your homework properly. Okay, so this is a pattern right now for CCI security. Scoring depends on both. Now, let's say you did well with module 1, you are pass, but the module 2 went bad, then outcomes is also fail. If you did bad here, but did good over here, then also the outcome would be fail. You need to be pass and pass with minimum score, then you are pass. Okay, they won't give you kind of instant result. It takes some time, so you can kind of log out from the machine and wait for 24 to 48 hours, and then you get an email saying pass or fail. And also they will not mention in the email or the link that they provide stating where you failed, which question you failed. They provide you a link. When you log into the link, you get your scorecard or score report. Basically, they tell it from the topic point of view. Let's say if there are 5 sections of CCI security version 6, let's say firewalls, eyes, ESA, WSA. So they would kind of tell in this way that you scored let's say 56 out of 100. Let's say you scored 70, you scored 80, you scored 40, but overall not qualifying, so fail itself, right? So you are either fail or pass, but when you see the score report, you get to see in which section you are kind of lacking. They will not even tell you which question that you put a wrong answers or which went good. They don't give you any in-depth information. But by seeing this, you should understand where is your lacking part and you need to fix it if you're giving the second attempt. Regards to the devices that is used in the lab, as I told you, these are all virtual appliances. So these are some of the images that they are using as of now. So for Cisco ISE 2.4, even though there is 3x now, the Cisco lab has 2.4. Okay, so we will install this in our lab and practice on 2.4. Most of the things will remain same. Might be some user interface will be different. For WSA, we have 9.2. This is 11.1. Email security appliance. This is the FMC for next generation firewalls. These are the IPS, FTD appliances, the firewalls. This is the ASA box. This is the CSR 1000V. This is Stealth Watch, Fire AMP, controller, DNAC, and these L2 switches. Okay, these are some of the devices which are in a virtual machine, and these are some physical equipment. The reason is because you have some task in the 5 hours of design concept, task related to context. So context and cluster. So which needs the real box, and what real box? Only the ASA box. You don't need a real box for FTD or any other things. You just need the real box for FTD because the task could be for ASA related cluster and context, which cannot be done on virtual. So that is why I said 98% are doable on virtual. That is what we will do in our lab, and 2% on a real device. For this real device, I'll give you some pointers what can be done. How can you configure context and cluster and practice from the lab perspective. Apart from this, the regular Windows PC, the AD server, Cisco AnyConnect client, the Kali Linux. So these are some devices that's also needed in the total lab diagram. And this is one of the diagram which has all these components. We have Cisco ISE, ESA, WSA, these Kali for generating the traffic, AD servers. Basically, everything is there. So once we practice technology by technology, the things would get clear, more clear. Okay, see, these are some scenarios that we would be discussing in the class. So when I will start with AMP, this is somehow the things would look like. Email security, policy, network device administration, web security, site-to-site VPN, remote access VPN. But this is just an example like how the scenarios would be created. Okay, so let me once again go back here. As of now, we are discussing on the score paper. So we would be focusing on the score paper, and the exam number is 350701. So let me open this PDF. PDF for 370701. So CCNP or CCI, whatever, security 350701, which is a score paper. So this is 400 USD. It's a 120 minutes of MCQ type. Click on review exam topics. This is the exam topic. You can download the PDF as well. So let me show you the chapters. So the first chapter is having the highest weightage, 25% security concept. Then network security, securing the cloud, content security, endpoint protection and detection, and then secure network access, visibility, and enforcement. If you go to the security concept, all the described topics, as you know, this is MCQ based. So you will not have lot of hands-on to do here. See, these are some terminologies, comparisons, describe, compare, describe. See, these are all basically more like theory topics. Network security. Here we have few lab topics like the L2 attacks, the MAC attacks, DHCP snooping. So we got some attacks to be replicated. We will be using Kali Linux to replicate the attack and see what is the mitigation process. We have some SNMP configurations to secure the network. We have the VPN configuration. So in the score, we have limited VPN information like site to site, remote. But when you go to that SVPN, which have more number of VPNs, there would be like uh, 10 to 12 VPNs in SVPN. Okay, L2, L3, the DM VPN, the Flex VPN, almost all the VPNs would be covered in SVPN. Securing the cloud, once again, the topic which will have DevSecOps as well. This is a new topic introduced, CI/CD pipeline, etc. Content security, this is where the ESA and WSA, the email security appliance and web security appliance will come into picture. Endpoint protection and detection. This is another topic which is related to the IPS now. The IPS, antivirus, all those topics. And the final chapter is secure network access visibility. So here is where you have the .1x MAB, the control plane attacks. Okay, control plane attacks. This uh, components of the network security. So this is more like MCQ. You will learn a lot of things, but there is no hands-on, no much hands-on, more like to get the CCI written or the CCNP mandatory paper clear. Okay, so after this paper, then we get into the next paper, which is Cisco's ICE. The exam number is 30715. Is also called the CIS paper, which is nothing but Cisco Identity Service Engine. The concentration papers are 300 USD. And these are also having a MCQ pattern. Okay, these are a MCQ pattern. The CCNP level is all MCQ pattern. No matter you're writing the concentration or the mandatory paper. It's more like MCQ. Only in the CCI 8 hours you have the lab where you do hands-on. So here, if you see the lab exam topics, see now this is a in-depth into Cisco ICE. Once again, from the basic till all the BYOD, the wireless clients, the pre-filter. These are some topics that we would cover here. So those guys who are not familiar with Cisco ICE, this is a product which is a upgradement for Cisco ACS. There was something called Cisco ACS earlier. So any device access, device authentication, or accounting or logs, we could capture from ACS. Okay, like let's say if I have one device, I cannot spend time on creating local accounts, right? So I need a backend server like AD server or Cisco ACS server, which can authenticate for me. So this got end of life and they introduced something called Cisco ICE. Now Cisco ICE can do much more thing what ACS could do. So the Cisco ISE itself is a very huge topic. And there are company or there are project which most of the time recommend we need a dedicated Cisco ISE SME subject matter expert, or we need a TAC engineer for Cisco ISE, because Cisco ISE is now not about AAA. It's about guest account, wireless, the dashboard, the automation, lot of things you can do from Cisco ISE these days. So after Cisco ISE, we would be going with Cisco's next gen firewall. So NGFW 3071, let's say CCNP paper. It's called SNCF. Here we will be learning about the ASA and the FTD, FMC. It's an interesting topic, one of the firewall from our firewall mastery course as well. So we cannot straight away get started with the FTD. So first we go via the ASA module, and then we will see all the FTD components. So we'll see the pushing of the security policy, the configuration of the certificates, configuring VPNs, all those things. We have one topic where we are also integrating FTD, FMC with Cisco ISE. So after the next gen firewalls, we would be going towards the SVPN. The exam code is 300730. This will have more number of VPNs. Again, one of the concentration paper. Review exam topics. And this is divided in 4 chapters. You have site to site, but for Get VPN, DM VPN, Flex VPN. One of CCI's lab consists of Flex VPN scenario or task in the lab. Under remote access VPN, you have these topics. Most of these topics are also called or being introduced in the CCI lab as well. You have in the actual lab, you will see this any connect related scenarios. There is one for any connect and there is one for client, and also there is one for flex VPN. So almost these are touching up the labs. And then you have the troubleshooting using ASDM and CLI, troubleshoot IPsec, troubleshoot DM VPN, Flex VPN, AnyConnect, SSL VPN, client and client based. And these are some of the secure communication architecture, how these are designed, how are troubleshooted. So all about the VPN concepts from security levels. Then we go to Cisco ESA. Now ESA and WSA topics are spread out. Okay, so let's say if I click for CCNP, the ESA topic is called 30720, whereas Cisco's WSA CCNP is having a different code, 725. So you have these lab exam topics for this. Okay, divided into 6 chapters. You may not be very much interested to do this, but we have 2 questions at least from these topics, ESA and WSA. Okay. And finally, we would be doing the CCI version .6. Let me show you the exam topic. So this is the lab. These are the sections of the lab. Perimeter security, there would be at least 2 questions to 3 questions from this topic. There would be next 2 to 3, 4 questions from the second chapter. They can ask you one VPN between FTD to FTD and one question from ASA to ASA or any connect, or one question from Flex VPN. There will be 2 to 3 questions from the infrastructure security. They can include a attack, and they could ask you to kind of troubleshoot and fix that. There is one question from the ISE part, Cisco ISE part, which is chapter number 4. And then advanced threat, they have 2 questions for ESA and WSA related. There is no automation. and there is no much DNAC used here. Just one simple task has some things to be done on the DNAC. Otherwise, it's all more like virtual things which we can do easily on the lab and kind of work on the test scenarios. So these are the topics. That is part of this. I've already shown you the timelines that we would follow this way. So since we are starting with the score paper, we would be kind of discussing from the CCNA point here, like what is firewall, what is network security, uh, etc., etc., so that people are kind of getting the flow and we don't just start directly with some topic which someone cannot understand. Okay, so this is how the things should be planned. So any question till here?
Hi, sir.
Okay.
Hi, I have a question. Can you hear me? Hello?
Okay. Hello, yes, I can hear you. Yes, please tell me.
Okay. Thanks for the explanation. I just wanted to know, talking about automation. Okay. How deep is the automation in this course, meaning scripting and all this?
No, there
Because,
is there
mhm.
is no much automation in the CCI security lab.
Okay, there's no much automation.
Yeah, there is no automation topic, not even one question in the CCI. But yes, there are certain automation topics from the score paper. Let
Mhm.
me show you. There are some API questions, but very less. I can say 5%. That's all. Which I will cover. I will cover it up. But
Yeah, because my concern is for someone that has no knowledge on scripting, on programming, will it be will it be possible for the person to go along and to understand at the end of the day?
yes, as I told you, there is no automation in CCI security. So this is purely the security components now. But I'll be showing you some automation as an additional classes for each topic. So you get to know how these are automated. Might be this help you in the real time. But from the
Okay,
certification point of view, there is no automation needed.
okay, thanks. Second question, I saw somewhere, I don't remember where, they were talking about how do you call it? Cloud security. I saw it somewhere. I don't know. I don't remember where.
Yeah, it's over here in the score paper. I think you're talking about the
Security
security.
cloud. Okay. Okay. Here is it, let's say, a practical thing, or is just something for literature and to know how it works?
See here, since this is a MCQ pattern, most of the
Mhm.
questions are theory based apart from just one topic. Configure cloud logging and monitoring technology. So this I will show you by hands-on. Okay. And rest,
Mhm.
whatever, if I possible to do by hands-on, then I'll show you that. Or otherwise, I'll give you the real case studies for the topics.
Okay. Okay. Okay then. Thanks.
Uh, so guys, for the new topics or any theory topics, we can start from the fresh. We can have the session started. So tomorrow when we meet, we'll talk on the basic topics. Okay, like what is network firewall. So let's say if you guys, since you guys have already joined, so we can just have some kind of a basic information like a basic discussion to understand what you guys understand about the network firewalls. So if you need, then you can kind of do some homework and also come tomorrow, because we will start it from scratch. So tomorrow would be kind of class one for you, and that is how we would be moving on. Okay. So as of now, from whatever knowledge you have, what do you kind of understand with firewalls? Because this is very much popular term in security side. You might be working on router and switches. Now, firewall, what do you understand? What it is firewalls? So where do we use firewalls in the network? So let's say if I have a router and I got some switches, I got some end devices, users, and this is cloud. So I see the user is now having the internet connectivity. So he's making use of all his personal time by going to Facebook, by looking to Naukri, by going to YouTube, consuming the enterprise bandwidth. I want to put this on hold. So how can I do that? How can I block it?
Firewall should be connected before router. The output to the input to the router. We should be connecting firewall, and ISP need to be connected to firewall.
Okay, you mean to say I have to connect one firewall here, and the termination of ISP will happen here between firewall and this, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Can't I keep a firewall behind this over here? And still block it?
It is also possible.
So we have rules, no? Who can access that sites and everything? The firewalls only.
Yes, we will have the rules. That is why the firewalls are used. But where it is placed, in the front of router or in the back end of the router?
So in the front end, we can put it if we want it. If we want the user not to access the ISP, then we can use it with the router only.
If I keep in the front, then do I still need a router?
No, sir.
Right? We
Because
can, yeah.
yes, sir, we need it because with the router only we can access the ISP. No,
Why we can use with router? Can't we use with firewalls? We can enable BGP on firewalls. We can enable OSPF on firewalls. Then why I need another router in the back end of a firewall? Firewall can do everything, right? It can do routing. It can do the firewall job also.
but there might be the packet drop also. No, sir.
No, not needed. If you put very good firewalls, they have one Gbps port also.
If a router is also configured in the firewall, there might be some security breach may happen, because everybody can access router from an organization, but firewall, a particular team only can have the access to view the firewall.
Nothing related to that. If you have firewalls also, there are things like called packet flow. Okay, it's not that something comes and something is passed. It will follow very good structures of 12 to 15 steps. Any packet comes where first open up the packet, check the content, check the things, do the needful things, then do the routing also. So first it will do all the security checks, then it will also do the routing check. It's
So it
not
is
that,
like
yeah.
So it is like IIS 6.0 on the Apache server.
No. Don't bring Apache here.
No, sir,
It's
because Apache is also looking for the security, and then it will go move forward for the packet.
Yeah, any security appliance will do the same thing only. But now why I'm asking this question, if we keep a firewall directly connected to the ISP, then actually we don't need a router. Okay. Why we keep router in the beginning and firewall in the backend is, especially when you want router to act as a router, then only we keep the router in the beginning facing to this, and you want to keep only the firewall concepts in the firewall, and you don't want to enable any routing here. So this will act as router, this will act as a firewall, two different components to do two different tasks. But not every customer or companies will follow this pattern. Some company,
Actually, I have one question. Instead of router, we can put the switch, and then we put the firewall, like ISP to switch and switch to firewall.
switch, sorry, I didn't get you. Can you reiterate where what you want to keep first?
Actually, some organizations have here like ISP to switch, layer to switch, and then they are giving to the firewall. Because of some ISP have like 2-3 bands have availability. So for they are advertising only the switch of layer to after the ISP.
Yeah, see, that is a different concept. Might be the ISP is having any L2 MPLS or something, so they are keeping a switch in the beginning. But in general, either you keep router or you can keep a firewall. So let's say if it is a large scale or a mid scale company, they will definitely keep two different components. They'll keep router for routing, and they will keep firewall for firewall appliances, blocking and the approving. They can also think about making router act as a NAT device, or if they don't want the NAT over there, they can keep a NAT here also. So this also comes from the design team, how they want to treat it. So this is from mid and range. Now some client or some customer, they do not have lot of employees in that building, so they don't want to spend lot of money. What they will do, they will buy one firewall and they will enable both routing, NAT, and firewall appliance, and enable this to this ISP. And in the backend, they'll keep one switch and they will keep the users connected to it. So this is when you have a small scale industry, a small scale premises where you don't want too many components. One firewall, it will do all the job and your things are done. But now same design, the next customer may not use. The reason is he may not want everything to be put up on firewall. If firewall is down due to extensive load, then everything goes down, right? So he will keep routing separate and firewall appliance separate. So router can also be enabled with NAT, and on the firewall you definitely know the things like security policy or VPN. You can enable IPS, IDS, SSL. You can, so you can use firewall for the different aspect apart from routing here, enabling any BGP or enabling any other things that router can handle. Okay.
So during hello,
Hello. Yes, go ahead.
sir, during the DOS attacks, we can bypass the firewall, no?
It depends what firewall you're using, because nowadays these layer 7 firewalls, they can inspect the content and then deny it if it is unknown packets. Okay, there are different types of firewalls available, like layer 3 to 4 or layer
How we can go? How we can know which layer it belongs? The firewall.
yeah, that depends on the vendor which you're taking or the which appliance you're taking. Say for example, the example here is Cisco ASA. So Cisco ASA works in a traditional method, layer 3 to 4. It cannot inspect any application traffic. Whereas here the examples are the Cisco FTD, Palo Alto, FortiGate, Checkpoint, so forth. So there are huge list which supports 3 to 7 OSI layers. We also call this as next gen firewalls. Okay, so these does the work of deep packet inspection. If the packet is coming in SSL format, it will encrypt this or decrypt this and see the content. If it is a PDF format or if it is any unknown format, then it can also deny the packet. It will block the packet there itself.
But sir, there are companies, if they need a PDF, they are getting a PDF document from the client, and if it is being blocked by the firewall of the layer 3 to 7, then how we can get to know that it is being blocked?
See, when something is blocked, the information go and sit in the log messages. So in the log messages, you can see which PDF is getting blocked. So you're getting that point.
Yes, sir.
Whatever allow and deny happens, you will see in the log messages. In the connection log message, every details is put up from where the PDF came, from where it is going, etc., and what extension it is. If you find any unknown extension like PDF 1 or EX123 or any DMZ1, anything, any unknown extension, it will deny it. If you
So,
receive,
so if we want to extract that data, then if it is important for the company and if we want to extract that data from the log tables, then
you cannot extract the data. It will only create the log messages that this file is blocked. Okay. And if there is any known format, PDF, exe, then basically this appliance will send that hash value to the cloud and then get the information whether this is a known file or it needs to be a block. And depending upon the information, Cisco has something called Cisco telos. So it will send the reply back that this is a known signature. You can allow the traffic. So almost all next gen firewall in the backend would be connected to their cloud, respective cloud. Like Cisco has something called as telos, whereas Palo Alto has something called as a Palo Alto cloud. So these are integrated because if there is any unknown packet in a real time, and if you have not defined that block this, deny this, etc., if not,
கேள்வி கேட்டிருக்கான் அது
so if it is not defined, it will send that information to cloud, get the response what needs to be done, and then take the action in a real time. So this is what the next gen firewalls does. So guys, I think we will wrap up for now. You can ask your questions. We have 10 minutes. And in the next class, we can start from fresh, like what is firewall, what OSI layer it works, what are the different types of firewall. And we can also see some basic configuration of ASA firewall tomorrow, like how you can configure, how you configure the interface of it, how you configure the security zones, what is DMZ, etc. We can see tomorrow. I'll show you some hands-on or a lab tomorrow for Cisco ASA. So any question with anything, also if you have any more doubt or clarification on pricing part and etc., you can take the snap of this. You can kind of contact our backend, or the backend has already given the contact details. You can also send an email or WhatsApp them and they will give you more details about the fee structure, the course outline, and all the other things, lab details, and all this.
Sagar, can we do means what configuration of device we would be looking for doing the home lab?
For home lab, you need minimum 16 GB RAM. Okay, minimum 16 GB RAM. And it's better if you have 32 GB RAM, if that's possible. And a processor like A5, A7, i5, i7, i9. These are something which are recommended because we need multi-processing. So at least 8 CPUs or 6 CPUs are required here. Okay, and if you're taking, yeah, go ahead.
Please go ahead. So this will be supporting complete CCI lab?
No, not for CCI. This I'm talking only from the FTD and ICE. But in let's say if you're doing only FTD, then this is sufficient. If you're doing only the ICE lab, then this is sufficient. But if you're doing the CCI lab where you have FTD, you have ICE, and you have all other things, then you need to go with at least 64 GB to 128 GB RAM. So you can take a server. You need to take a server and you need to place the entire lab.
A quick question: can't we do it in AWS?
It will be too costly. You can do it because they are all virtual, but if you have any free tier or something, you can use it. Otherwise, it might be a bit costly.
Okay.
You can integrate, if you know, you can integrate EVNG with AWS also. You can see some instructions, but I think it's be more costly than having a server or a big laptop.
Will you support for the images and installation related?
Yeah, we will give all the support. The backend team will take care of all your installation on your devices. Okay, but make sure you have that set RAM, otherwise things may not work.
Okay.
And yeah, and also let me tell you, if you're taking our remote lab for CCI, especially the CCI, then you get it for 1 year. 1 year access, you get it. It's a unlimited access for all the lab instances. And also in case if you spent all 1 year working these topics, and after a gap of 5 months you come back and now you have booked the lab, so you need to send that booking screenshot, and we will also give you additional labs access for free. That is only when you book that CCI slot. We just need that attachment or screenshot that you really has booked, and we will give you additional hours.
So this remote lab will have like 32 GB. It has all the high-end level, is it? High-end RAMs.
Yes, that we will do it from our backend. You will get the direct access to the lab. Say, for example, we will give you something like this. There will be a lab topology which you can power on, double click, and start using the workbook and practice it. Something like that. So you don't need to worry in the backend what RAM is added, what CPU is added. You will get a ready-made kind of thing. Now, if same thing you want on your machine, then you need to have that particular set RAM, and my backend will do all the required technical part of migrating the images, the things that is needed. They will do it on your side.
So you mean to say, like, I mean, the previous one, the RAM specification is only when we are trying to set up within our own environment, is
Yes,
it?
yes, yes. Because some people wants to have on their own machine. So that is when the RAM and the things comes up. But that is optional. I mean, that is your own things. But we as a enrolled, we as a institute, we are giving the remote lab access also included with the enrollment. So you get 1 year access to the CCIE labs. So which is included in the package only. So you don't have to pay any additional for the lab access. I hope I'm clear with that, right?
Yes.
Excuse me, this lab is a lab related just for the course, for the sake of the course, or is the CCIE lab, bootcamp lab?
No, this is related to the next gen firewall topic. So there was one topic called SNCF. So this lab is for that. I showed
Okay.
you one mock-up lab for CCIE Security, which would look something like this, which has many more components in one single lab.
Yeah, this one. Back again.
Yeah, this one.
This one, yeah.
Yeah, this would be for CCIE Security. The one which I'm showing you is for the ASA and FTD module, which was SNCF 300170. So you will see multiple labs. You will see one lab for score. You will see one dedicated lab for this paper. You will see one lab for the VPN. So you will get like end of the batch, you will get like 4 to 6 different variations, topic by topic. And finally, for the CCI, one big lab topology with all the components added.
Okay, that's what I wanted to ask. For the big lab, okay, is that a lab? The access on that lab is included in the with the registration fees. I mean, if you pay for the course, you have access to that lab also for 1 year. That's what you said.
Yes, you will have for all actually. I mean, all these 4 to 6 instances, you will have access to 1 year.
Okay, but the first instances can be installed locally on your laptop for the home lab. But the last one, which is the overall big one, will be accessed remotely.
Yes, that would be right. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Okay. So any further questions? You can definitely reach out the backend and they will guide you. Okay. So I think we are good for the day, right? So we can wrap up and we can connect in the next class now.
On last query.
Yeah.
Yeah. From when our actual class will be getting started?
From tomorrow, it's the actual class only. From tomorrow, we will be starting with the basic concept of firewalls and how firewall works. And
Okay.
from the next weekend, it's basically the continuation part.
So from today we have started.
Not today. Not today. Today is just kind of what you say introduction class. So from tomorrow, the topics will start.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
But there is no automation here, right? Just to confirm.
There is no automation here, but when I'm taking a technology topic, I'll show some automation case study, like for Cisco eyes and FTDA safe. These topics we can cover up some automations, and I can show you that. Okay, but in the actual exam, there is nothing related. The automation just from the real time perspective.
Yes, because on our, let's say, our daily days in our job, at the end of the day, there are some small automations. So if you're gonna show them, it should be good.
Yes. So I hope you guys know that I am also going to run another batch, correct? If you are not aware, then uh, let me tell you, there is another batch which is dedicated to network automation, which I just took a workshop before we started this CCNP to CCI track. So let me share that. So I'm taking a dedicated batch for automation as well, which covers modules of Python, Ansible, API, PyAts, and Cisco DevNet. So if you want, you can take that. You can take both because both are on a different timings. This would be on at 7 to 9 p.m. India, the dedicated automation batch, and the CCNP to CCI is at 9:13 or 9:15 till 11 or 11:30 India.
Mhm.
So these both are on the weekends only. So this is 3 months, and this as I told you 5 to 7 months. Parallelly, this would be going on. Once this is done, uh, you will just attend the continuation of this CCNP to CCI. So the recording of the automation I will share you in some time. My backend will share you, so you can decide you want either of them or both of them. That is your call. You can just uh, decide and you can. Okay.
Okay. And for fee structure, we have to discuss with your backend team.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
Backend they have a WhatsApp number and email ID. You can email or WhatsApp.
Okay.
All right, guys. So I'll take a leave for now. We connect tomorrow with the topic discussion. Okay. So have a
Okay,
nice
sir.
day. Take care.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you.